Going to be starting off on Acid, WDM2. Going to be watching overactive as we get started. And he's just going to be grabbing riot gun and just going right across the map. So he's really not prioritizing that many weapons at the moment. He's going to have a good angle here to go back and jump for EB, but he's just really wanting to scout out where KeRpaL is going to be coming from and just react to that. But KeRpaL is just going to be running him on down, taking that first frag away, finding him at yellow armor once again, but overactive mid-air with a beautiful EB, turning it right back against him, taking away this green armor and just going, all right, fine, you still want a face-on-face fight? Here we go. Well, it's going to be a very short-lived here we go. KeRpaL taking that number 2 fairly effectively, still at 100 health, with Mega coming up in a couple seconds. Red already up, so this should be a trade. Overactive more than happy to take that trade, and with Plasma in hand, looking for KeRpaL just for a second out of the teleporter. Ooh. On one hand, he missed that jump and didn't get an EB. On the other hand, he missed that jump and didn't get a face full of pain from KeRpaL. It's a nice little Heidi play there from overactive. KeRpaL, 129 and 59. Red Armor is going to be coming on up, and even though he didn't have exact timing on it, he kept his ears open and was able to make that grab. And now the rocket bounces are definitely going KeRpaL's way. Some nice defensive damage coming out of overactive, but he's definitely on tilt here with 53 and 37. He really wants some more EV ammo here, so he's spamming off the grenades as much as possible. Going to be leaving it up, however. Oof. The grenade was able to get a little bit of leaven, though. Maybe he doesn't want EB ammo that much. I mean, coming in on this red armor is kind of dangerous with only 2 shots to make there. He's able to get the grab, but heavily punished for it. KeRpaL making this thing 3 up on 1. Overactive taking away YA. KeRpaL top of the map. Using the rockets in the corridors to maximum effectiveness. And again, that's been Overactive's main weakness here, is just rocket play. Whenever it's been rockets on rockets, we are seeing Overactive go down a little bit quicker. The red armor is going to be good, and the jump is going to be good. There's going to be 0 retaliation on the item itself. Anything in the back hallway is not so much. KeRpaL coming into the yellow armor and getting that grab. And he's not entirely sure where Overactive is going to be playing from, but he can shove him out of the Mega at the very least. And oh, look at that drop down. Overactive has to go through the teleporter twice, and the second time is going to be his demise. 5 up on 1. Overactive off of the spawn is able to get an EB shot in and a red armor grab. And ooh, look at all those pretty weapons right there. He's able to get a lot more than he would have otherwise, and now he's more than ready for this fight. That switch over to Plasma instead of Railgun, costing him a little bit of time here in the back green hallway. The worst thing is that unless you're really going for that red, this isn't a great angle, but it's going to be a red and Mega trade-off on the timing. But Overactive is already committed to this Mega, so... Oh, look at this. He might be able to go in for red and then punish on the Mega. Ooh, but a rail like that will turn the tables very, very quickly against Overactive. Taking a look at KeRpaL, he's 126 and 75. Pretty well set up on the weapons, and he doesn't have a plasma, but apparently with grenades like that, you don't need it. So those angry pancakes definitely making the mark there. Cutting some grooves into Overactive's armor. Ooh. Overactive getting absolutely no damage out of that fight. Wanted to just evade and stay safe, but can't quite make it over to the 50. Make that 5 frags in a row for KeRpaL. Doesn't want to hurt himself there. So 6 on 1, and it looks like Overactive is going to be attempting to slow things down here a little bit. Attempt is the key word, though. Overactive overlooking red armor, leaves it a little bit early. Just a couple of riot gun shots, but he doesn't want to overcommit to it, which allows him to grab that EB fairly safely. And look for KeRpaL down in the mid-arena. Can't quite get the hit that he needs, though. And the worst thing is that there's not too much room to grab. I mean, yellow armor's up, but it's certainly not going to be safe with 30 health. So Overactive is evading these dangerous areas at the moment. But coming in below there, it's going to be really dangerous for him there. He can get in a little bit of damage. Oh my god, with 23 health, he can take KeRpaL down, get a second frag up on the board, but KeRpaL is still able to grab away red armor and yellow armor off of the spawn. So, nasty, nasty, unlucky spawn there for Overactive. Yeah. He can get into the EB, but he can't survive the telefrag. So with a fresh outlook on life, hopefully he's able to step back in with some EBs of his own. With only 16 health, you know, he's just waiting out for it. Doesn't know where his opponent's going to be coming from. Waiting for that 50 health. He could take the 25 as well. Trade the shots, but a quick switch over to Riot Gun will put KeRpaL up 2-on-9. So overactive again, trying to slow things down. But we're already fairly sure that this isn't his best mode of play. Especially when he's starting to suicide himself there. So overactive back here in mid. Maybe looking for a red armor, but it's not going to be coming. Yeah. Nothing there for him, and now KeRpaL is more than willing to abuse the fact that overactive doesn't have an exact timing on the maps here, on the items rather. And that's really more the classic Acid WDM2 play, where you're running everything, you're grabbing everything, you're making laps around the map, you know, just taking everything as you can. And then your opponent is just left not knowing, largely, you know, which armor spawns when. And you as the top player, you don't really care because you're just doing laps. So for the armors at least, that means you have, you know, static differences in the armor timing. And anytime you want to break that off and, you know, just take a better position so that you're not too predictable by your opponent, you have that utter freedom. Overactive right now doesn't have many freedoms afforded to him. If he could hit every EB, that would certainly get him somewhere, but the inconsistencies right now are definitely cutting against him. Oh. KeRpaL's ball's a nasty wall for overactive. Wow. A self-rocket up against the wall to a telefrag. Not the best way to be getting your frags back there. So 1 on 12, 3 minutes. Overactive just made that last one, but can he lead this into anything else? Can he convert this into a run? Perhaps not with Mega going away the way it is. Y is going to be up in a couple seconds here. Overactive's going to have a good angle on it, and there's no retaliation. But still 12 seconds before the next red comes up, so it's like overactive needs to force a fight before the red comes up in order to recover on that and maintain some initiative here. So here he comes, trying to make it happen. There's the suicide at the very least, leaving him with 24 health, but that's okay because red will be back up. And he needs to make a beeline for it. Nope, he's a little bit late on it. And so that's a bit of a clincher for him there. So 2 minutes, 10 frags. If he made that last frag a little bit earlier, then he may have felt a little bit more comfortable showing up in red. But red's going to be up now anyway. Even though overactive didn't get the last grab, he's looking pretty well set for this one. He wants to clamp off any opportunity for KeRpaL to come in and put aggression on him, though. And he still has a little bit of that Mega left over, so the timer hasn't even started. This is actually a lot of good time for overactive. Unfortunately, this isn't a 15-minute match. And the clock is going to be overactive's biggest enemy here. KeRpaL just being an accomplice to that. Yeah, now that the weak and strong ammo system is gone, those rails down there are just like a consolation prize for being in a shitty place. Like, you never want to be there now. Nice avoidance of that last rail. But can overactive get his in? I mean, he's looking a little bit more shaky here with his prediction shots. See, there's a giant ceiling fan up there. How come it doesn't make a cool noise? Alright, but there's the telefrag. Just a little bit of revenge there. It's only fair. KeRpaL's made like 3 or 4 telefrags here so far. But yeah, we've seen 1 frag in 1 minute, and if we extrapolate that out to the last minute here, it's not really going to be helping overactive all that much on Acid WDM2. Hey, we got Dodson in chat. Nice. But yeah, it looks like we're going to be seeing the end of Acid WDM2 here as far as overactive is concerned. It's a bit of a pity because this is arguably one of the faster maps for him to be playing in, and slowing it down has definitely been more KeRpaL's game than it has been overactive's. So yeah, he's going to GG with 20 seconds to spare, and we're going to be going right into the next map here in the grand final. So this is going to be a best-of-5 series with now 2 maps in KeRpaL's favor, having the 1 map advantage coming from the upper bracket. All right, so hopping right into it, right on the tail end of the map load, we're going to be going into overactive versus KeRpaL. Grand finals, 2 up for KeRpaL, but 1 up immediately off the board here for KeRpaL again, and it's going to be 3 health. Back up on the 50, but it makes this initial play for the items really touch and go. I mean, this is a huge opportunity for overactive to go, all right, you were really weak after that fight. I need to show up at the item that you're showing up so I can challenge and win. But it didn't quite work out that way for KeRpaL, or for overactive, rather. So overactive taking away that red armor instead. Didn't want to quite go into the fight that he needed to be at. That's one of the interesting things about having the items come up 15 seconds after the spawn, is that if you do have a fight like that, you know, your opponent will have a major advantage as the fresh spawn. But that's something that overactive didn't really take advantage of there. So first minute, 2 frags up for KeRpaL. In a map like this, you know, it can play fast, it can play slow. It's one of those things, you know. Yeah, that's the least helpful thing I think I've ever said. But it looks like overactive wants to play this thing a little bit more underactive. And maybe just hide out here by the jump pad for like 8 minutes, because jump pads are nice. It's a nice safe corner. Oof. By eating a rail like that is not going to be helping him out. And coming around a corner, not expecting KeRpaL to be right in front of him. That's not a great sign for overactive here. Taking a look at KeRpaL, 100, 125. Mega's going to be up and unchallenged. Overactive is able to take away a little bit of armor, and red's going to be up, but it is going to be challenged. KeRpaL now just pushing forward on all of it with this shaft and making that LG work for him. KeRpaL left with 68 health. If overactive has anything to work with as far as a weapon off of the spawn, this would be an ideal time to just push forward and start to do some damage. But in the meantime, KeRpaL's able to take away YAs. He's able to take away 50 health and be well stacked up for the next Mega. Now, the Mega and red armor time is going to be really close, so overactive may be able to make something happen here. He's going to be tempted by the red at the very least. Can his LG make anything happen here? He has no other weapons other than that EB and doesn't want to switch, but KeRpaL will be able to switch and make that 5th frag. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is game point here for overactive. KeRpaL almost has this thing in the bag. Overactive has everything on the line. And he has everything to prove with that little gunblade of his. So that'll leave KeRpaL 79 and 100. And again, just able to take these standing LG shots one after another. Catching overactive on the top of these spawns with very little to go in weaponry. So overactive mostly just needs time off of a spawn just to breathe, relax, and grab something useful. So far it hasn't been going his way. Eric, you're calling me Dr. Seuss. Bitch, I wish I could be Dr. Seuss. That would be amazing. Have all those fish. 10 on 0. I wish I could say it's going a little less one-sided than it is, but it is, so that's that. But these are just amazing rundowns. It just looks like overactive just off of a spawn. It's like, yay, I've got a red armor. Okay, now I need a weapon, and this is not where he wants to show up. I mean, he can grab plasma and go +4, but now he's stuck in a fight with the Mega. And usually with the way the timing on this goes, you know, Mega and red are going to be showing up relatively close to each other. All other things being even. So if it makes any sense at all to say this, it's a general good rule of thumb where if you're not well stacked and you're not well prepared for a fight at Mega, just don't show up at Mega. Yeah, that yellow's there and you want that, but you don't want to put that risk out. So even with a grab like this from overactive, KeRpaL still has a lot of pain to dish out here. Nice. So 14 on 0, and we're not quite halfway through this thing. We've seen overactive make good plays on this map before, but this is one of the stranger maps when it comes to meta play. It's just a little bit more odd. Your risk-reward factor on Mega is weird. Your risk-reward factor on red is weird. Middle is a little bit weird. So it's something where you're much more having to play the opposing character than you are the map, if that makes any sense. There are some maps where the meta is so very clear that it's just about who can play the items and play the weapons a bit better. Here, you really have to get inside your opponent's head to make anything worthwhile happen. And if there's one thing I can say about KeRpaL, he's got a thick enough skull that it's difficult to get in there and figure that guy out. He's not easy. Overactive, 19 health. 50 is going to be available, and he wants it so bad, but he can't get it. 2 on 15, just over the halfway point here. But I really want to hand it to Overactive. I mean, his plays against both Juzor and Puffstar have been absolutely amazing, and some of the best matches to watch in Warsaw for quite some time. But like I said, KeRpaL is a difficult guy to figure out. And Overactive has largely been having problems just getting off the spawns safely at all. I mean, this is a big map, and it's got multiple tiers to it. It's not an easy map to just run the spawns on. But KeRpaL has been positioning himself perfectly to punish every single one of those. But Overactive can get the frag, he can get the mega, which will put him back up at even spawn health for KeRpaL. And he can get one more out of it. And now he just wants some plasma. He feels safer with his plasma, but a rail like that, yeah. Mega or no mega, without any armor, you're not going to be surviving too many of those. Wait, Dodson move to Russia? Who the hell would move to Russia? Like, seriously? Wow. Like, usually you order a wife from Russia and they just like ship them over in a FedEx box. Is Dodson a mail order husband? For Russian brides? I don't understand. Alright, but 4 on 18. KeRpaL's going to be knocked on down here, but this thing is still so wide, and Overactive's taking so much pain with every single one of these fights. I just don't see it happening. I would love to see it happen. I just don't see it happening. Like right in front of my face, what I'm seeing in front of my face is KeRpaL hurting Overactive for every frag that he buys. So Dodson's in Latvia. What are you doing in Latvia? Latvia is Russian for don't move here. Alright, so 5 on 19. KeRpaL taking another one away. Overactive really wanted that YA. Made a GB jump over to it. And the usually perfect plasma from Overactive is failing him a little bit here. So I think we're starting to see some actual nerves come out. And again, like I was saying earlier on before the final started, KeRpaL has had the benefit of just kind of chilling out and chillaxing for the past couple hours. Overactive has been having to have these really stressful matches against Puffstar, against Juzor, and with very, very little breaks in between. Like, this is a European tournament, but I'm surprised at how few smoke breaks we've seen. Like, usually a smoke break's a good 10-20 minutes. Overactive hasn't been taking any of those. So, no, I'm not hit. Uh-oh. 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 KeRpaL's connection is on blast. We should have a timeout here. All right, finally timed out. Yeah, Puffstar's saying he's still online. He did it on purpose, lol. So there we have it. A bit of a of an early blown load on the final map there. Okay, so Overactive was just joking. Like, if this was Quake, like, that would have been like an actual request. Like, 21-7, but he disconnected 1 minute from the end. We replay. We replay. I get map pick. If this was Quake, that's totally how it would go. But there we have it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today, for playing today, for rocking it today on this awesome day of Quake and Warsaw goodness.